Damn.
They exiled him. He died in disgrace, despised by his people. That's what happens to heroes, Tommy.
But he saved everyone.
The Greeks knew the score. But if you want to be a hero, Tommy, that's fine.
Technoblade, don't do this. We're so close. I'm not the hero.
No
one's the hero.
Tommy?
We've got Lamanberg for each other.
You want to be a hero, Tommy? Then die like one!
The time had come. The time to take back Lamanberg. Pogtopia's numbers were rising by the day. It was now the hip new trend to be on Pogtopia's side. People began to realize that Pogtopia were the good guys, and also they wanted to be in the animatics. So they all joined. Even Quackity, Jay Schlatt's right-hand man, joined them. It was looking to be all in the clear just to walk in and take back Lamanberg. But as soon as Dream saw that there was going to be about 20 people beating up an old man with little to no conflict, he decided to switch sides just to make it interesting. Technoblade had been preparing for this day as well. Once everyone was in a big group, he showed them to his hidden base, which was under a pond, deep beneath the surface. But that wasn't even his secret base. That was an entrance to his actual secret base, which was stocked to the brim with weapons of mass destruction and netherite armor. Everyone took what they needed, except for Tubbo. He took like 9 stacks of emeralds, and they were armed to the teeth, ready to fight for the nation that they loved. They all marched across the railway in the sky that led them back to Lamanberg. But before they could even assess their surroundings, Dream and Carl immediately started raining fire on them from above. But the surprise attack from the tower was a futile attempt at picking off one of the many netherite-clad warriors below. Technoblade flew up to the tower, only to find them missing. They had jumped down, and slowly but surely the Pogtopia crew pushed them further and further back. Everything was crazy. Fireworks were exploding, arrows were being sent in every direction, people were flinging swords left and right, Dream became invisible, Carl got killed 3 times by Technoblade, Purpled forgot which side he was fighting for, and as soon as Dream ran out of enchanted golden apples, he decided to surrender. They all surrounded the once king of the Dream SMP server. Crossbows charged and shields raised. Dream said that he needed them to see something. So they followed him back into the old hot dog van, back where the entire thing started. There stood Jay Schlatt. He was drinking excessively and doing workout exercises by himself. All the inhabitants of Lamanberg gathered around to see what a pitiful wretch of a president was left. He rambled on about how everyone betrayed him and how he needs to do more bicep curls or whatever. He was an old alcoholic smoker and a wretched sight of a president. But one of the last messages that he managed to convey was that if he was going to die, Lamanberg was going to go with him. And oh boy, was he right. But before Tommy could deliver the final strike...
Do it,
You know, if I die, this country goes down with me.
No, he doesn't, Schlatt.
Oh, you don't even want to know, TommyInnit.
You could have had it, Schlatt. You could have had all.
This is it for you. Your reign of terror comes to an end. Now.
I don't feel good.
Schlatt?
Hello?
What?
Huh?
What?
Oh,
Did he?
Did he just have a heart attack?
You just
He just died.
He just died!
And they're all left there, all 20 of them, looking at the remains of an old man that they just beat up who died because of cardiac arrest. And then they celebrate. They gather around the podium to form a new government of Lamanberg. Wilbur Soot walks up and says he can't be president, so he makes TommyInnit be president, and then Tommy goes up and is like, no, I am TommyInnit, and I want my discs or something. So then Wilbur goes up and is like, oh, okay, Tubbo is president. And then Tubbo goes up and is like, yes, I am president. Everyone seems happy about this new progression of events, except for one man, or should I say, one pig. Technoblade is obviously not amused by the fact that the people that he just helped destroy Jay Schlatt's rule are now replacing it with essentially the exact same thing. So, enraged, he goes on a killing spree, and everything erupts into chaos. Everyone seems to be fighting everyone for no reason, and then in the middle of this big battle, Dream is like, hey, actually Wilbur was the traitor, but nobody really noticed because they're too busy trying not to get killed. But while all this is happening, Wilbur Soot had snuck away back to his button room to do more cringy monologues. He gets ready to push the button, but then he turns around and sees Philza. Philza logs in for the first time and tries to talk Wilbur out of pushing the button, and Wilbur expresses his torment. He is like, Philza Minecraft, I need to do it for the content. And Philza is like, no, you literally don't, you are being bad. But then Wilbur stays unhinged, even with his own father trying to reason with him.
Just won it back, Will.
Phil, I'm always so close to pressing this button, Phil. I've been here like 7 or 8 times. I've been here. 7 or 8 times. There was a saying, Phil, by a traitor, once part of the Manberg. A traitor, I don't know if you heard of Eret.
Yeah.
He had a saying, Phil. It was never meant to be.
Can I have some food?
What?
He finally did it. After all the weeks and weeks of build-up, Wilbur finally pressed the button. He gives the sword to Philza and tells Philza to kill him, that he deserves it. And Philza takes the sword and refuses, but after seeing the wreckage done, finally gives in and stabs him.
Do it. Do it.
But the insanity was not over yet. While the rest of the Pogtopians were reeling from the sight of L'Manberg being blown up, Technoblade had set up 2 withers, ready to be spawned. He confronts them all and delivers an epic speech about how power corrupts, and that the source of all their trouble wasn't Schlatt, but in fact the entire government that he ran. And finally, he told them about the ancient Greek myth, where the hero who had saved the village from the Minotaur was cast out and exiled. Ironic. Techno spawned 2 withers in the already blown up L'Manberg, desiring to make a crater from which no civilizations could rise. Then he names one to subscribe to Technoblade, and even more chaos ensues. Everybody's killing each other, trying to kill the withers, trying to escape from Technoblade. Nobody knows who is on whose side anymore, or if there's any sides at all. The damage had been done. Technoblade continued to expand the crater that was L'Manberg by blowing it up with even more TNT, and at the end of the day, he retreated back into the wilderness. The remaining Pogtopians did not stop, however. They decided to try and rebuild the lost nation with Tubbo as their leader, but they were all fools. Out of all of the differing opinions and beliefs and motivations, out of everyone here, to me, there is only one that has been true and unchanging. Technoblade's. Technoblade, although being seen as the villain, was right about everything. Power corrupts. It corrupted the once sane Wilbur into blowing up L'Manberg. Every figure that has ever held a leading position over a nation of people has been infected by the disease of power. Technoblade knew this. And even as hard as he tried, and as far as he went, he knew he couldn't stop humanity's greed for status. So he leapt off into the sunset, going into retirement, building a home in the remote snowy biome and settling down. He had done what he could, but nevertheless, everything that he said would happen would come to pass. And even the cheery young Tubbo would too be corrupted by power, and by his hand, the hero that had slain the Minotaur would be exiled from the nation. It was never meant to be.